All right. Last session, number 55, was a month ago. Let's see. Called it Tuesdays with Rudolph, the one with the fishing. After saving Dr. Rudolph Van Richten from a pack of werewolves, the group spent some time licking their wounds and talking with the old monster hunter. First, they tended to the bites they received during the lycanthropy super spreader event. A few of them had been bit, so they took precaution to clean those wounds and apply magical remedies as well. Van Richten cast a powerful restore spell on Juniper and himself, which mitigated the possibility of a werewolf curse. A better alternative to Esmeralda's suggestion of amputation, the latter of which Thoradin stopped from happening by tackling the Vistana to the ground. Van Richten found amusing. Throughout the evening, they learned a lot from Van Richten. First, he spoke of the werewolves that chased him to this tower and what he was doing prior. He had not heard of Emil, a purported leader of the Children of Mother Night, but he knew of a schism in the local clan. He'd been casing Castle Ravenloft undercover until the beacon of Argynvost suddenly lit up, which cleared out some of the fog and exposed him. He fled, and the werewolves pursued. While he was watching Ravenloft, Kirill, the leader of the werewolves who had chased him back here, was bringing Strahd a prisoner of some sort. He wasn't able to see who the prisoner was. He knew Deckard had mingled with the wolves of Barovia. This didn't seem to concern him, and he seemed intrigued to learn more of these abilities. Then he explained what went down in Vallaki after the party left. Vampires attacked a church festival and turned many of the townspeople into thrall. Strahd himself appeared and slew the priest Father Lucian. The town was in chaos. Countess Wachter lost control and took it out on the populace, enforcing a sort of martial law. She pinned the blame on the Mardikovs and took them as prisoners. The townspeople happen to call that event St. Andrew's Feast. That's what they're calling it now. Sort of their September 11th type of moniker. However, Van Richten unleashed his pet saber-toothed tiger upon the Wachter House forces, creating enough distraction for them to escape. He sent the Mardikovs to the Wizard of Wine's winery, but the tiger was lost in the fight. And there's now a warrant out for Van Richten, the Mardikovs, and all members of the party in Vallaki. Spargle fessed up that they found his notes and his conspiracy web, so Van Richten agreed to share everything that he had learned so far while in Barovia. They made camp outside of the tower, free from the annoying anti-magic field, and Juniper found a great little muddy ditch for them to use for camp. And then Thoradin went fishing. Because. And to help him, Spargo created an illusion of fireflies just above the water to draw a school near, and with his dark vision, Thoradin spotted them, and with a miraculous display of agility, he speared several plump fish. Group ate well that night, except for Alaric, who pretended to eat the fish, and when he got caught pretending, he said, there's nothing normal about Barovia, wouldn't eat the fish. As they settled in for the evening, Ragnar and the others asked Van Richten more questions, and they learned a bunch of stuff. Blincy's a fool, certainly, but he means well, and the doctor genuinely thinks Blinsky's an okay guy. He noted Izek did frequent the shop, but he wasn't aware of those Irina dolls or why he would be so obsessed with her. The Baron was an idiot, and his festivals didn't do anything to help the town, so he was glad that the party took him out. When asked about meat pies, he noted that they are made at the old windmill, and that those aren't old ladies, they are actually hags, so he otherwise avoided their place. He guessed that the many children they had taken from Vallaki work for the hags as indentured servants. Most of that was stuff the party already knew. He didn't know of Nathaniel Swift. He spoke of a Tarokka reading that he received from Madame Ava, which produced the same card that the party had in their reading, the artifact card. He was watching the Keepers of the Feather in hopes of enlisting their help against Strahd, until he kind of caught on to this party instead. He said the abbot is said to be an upstanding man who seems good and might prove helpful, but the village of Crest was pretty closed off. He mentioned that the abbot arrived here many years ago, and it's said that he hasn't aged. He wasn't familiar with the Amber Temple, but knew that the mountains to the south, which is where the Amber Temple is supposed to be, are very cold and very treacherous, and that regardless of all that, it's not even possible to get through Salenka Pass. But the party thinks they have that figured out. He spoke of a book, a tome of Strahd, a tome that Strahd himself authored, which might provide vital information about the vampire. And perhaps the Amber Temple is where the tome is, but presently he believed the book to be in Castle Ravenloft. He noted that Strahd has friends or allies that come and go from the castle as they please, but he wasn't sure who they were. He just kind of got some names and could recognize them. He asked them of Irina, curious as to why Strahd or the others might be interested in a seemingly ordinary Barovian woman. Spargle mentioned that she was strikingly beautiful. The party told him how they entrusted the local lord and socialite, Vasily von Holtz, but they had lost both of them in the fray at Vallaki Square and hadn't seen them since. Van Richten did not trust the lord, but didn't have any specific information on him. They spoke of Baba Lysaga and her strange baby illusion. He didn't know what to think about that, but he praised Baba Lysaga's defeat and said that would greatly help the Keepers of the Feather. He tried to decipher Baba Lysaga's statement about her being the mother of the king, but he wasn't sure. Spargle shared the Taroka reading, specific part of the Taroka reading they got, which read, "I see a garden dusted with snow, watched over by a scarecrow with a sackcloth grin. Look not to the garden, but to the guardian." Van Richten replied, "This adds up now. That must be the Abbey at Kresk. It's the only place I know that fits the description." Before heading to sleep, they also told Van Richten about the magical gems they received from Winter Splinter and Baba Lysaga's creeping hut. He was fascinated by the gems and the massive life-giving power they admitted. Spargle asked about the great wizard who challenged Strahd, and Van Richten recounted all he knew of the Mad Mage. Juniper and Van Richten pieced it together that the Mad Mage might have been who torched Juniper's village, a random, senseless genocide against the peaceful forest gnomes in Barovia. Ultimately, the group felt they had a few clear options in front of them. 1, sneak into the Castle Ravenloft and try to find the Tome of Strahd. 2, brave the mountains to the south through Salenka Pass and explore the Amber Temple for whatever artifact they're meant to find. 3, head to the Abbey at Kresk to find the abbot. This is where the Taroka card reading pointed them to look for a scarecrow in a snowy field. Or maybe another option, catch up with the Mardikovs at the Wizard of Wine's winery. The following day, refreshed and bellies still full of fish, they headed to the village of Kresk to seek out the abbot. Esmeralda disabled the traps on the wagon, and the group loaded up. Shouting the command word Dravash, Van Richten conjured magical horses that pulled them swiftly to Kresk. Deckard followed along on Snickers. After navigating winding, snowy roads, the large gates of the village loomed ahead. And this is what they saw. The air grows colder as you approach the walled settlement. 2 square towers with peaked roofs flank a stone archway into which is set a pair of 12-foot-tall, iron-bound wooden doors. Carved into the arch above the doors is a name, Kresk. The walls that extend from the gatehouse are 20 feet high. Atop the parapet, you see 4 figures wearing hats and clutching spears that watch you nervously.
Oh, very well done.
Lots of info. Thank you. All right, so I will take us to those gates. Scene we got here. And I'll also show you a better picture of Kresk as you kind of rolled up to it.
Oh, that looks cool. Looks like Winterfell almost. That's cool.
It's kind of got a good vibe like that. It's real quiet. The town's real quiet. So whereas the village of Barovia that you first went to was just kind of like a rotted town, all just torn apart and dilapidated and miserable, without much protection at all at the base of the big spire that Castle Ravenloft is on. Then you went to Vallaki, which was a lot bigger, a lot more sort of full featured as a city, but it was still protected fairly well with all the tall whatever you call those, like logs kind of stuck in the ground with big spikes on them, like all around whatever that kind of wall is. And then now this town is even more fortified than Vallaki. It is stone walls, 20 feet tall, all the way around it. Big iron gates on the front, and a lot quieter, a lot more subdued than Vallaki was. And of course, it's snowy and cold and stuff here. So it's kind of a somber, quiet town, but still pretty large. What would you like to do?
Is that a palisade? Is that what they call that?
Yeah, that's it. That was the word.
All right.
Should we knock?
4 figures. So they spotted us, so I don't know. We might as well.
Well, you know what they say about knocking, Thornton.
Remind me what they say, Deckard.
If you use your left hand, you might want to make sure that you do the dishes with your right hand the next day.
Aye, that's what the dwarves say too. Something similar. And like he just. There's one of them.
That one was weak.
The weaker the better, I think.
Have you ever heard of secondhand embarrassment?
Aw.
What are you some kind of witmaster, witty person over there, Ragnar?
What? I say we just knock right on the door.
The Lord of the Black Land come forth.
So you said this one's like, I mean, it's a very formidable wall and all that kind of stuff, but it's actually smaller in size than Vallaki?
Yeah, as you kind of were pulling up to it, just overall kind of size of the city looks like it might be a little bit smaller. I don't know if that picture I showed you did. Oh,
Kind of hard
yeah.
to tell.
So
On the left hand, it keeps on going.
well, so what you see is the lower part of the city in that picture, and then you see like a switchback kind of trail that goes real long around that sort of sloping hill to the right, and then there's another building up on top of that hill.
There's a raised area, right? Like you said,
Right.
we could see like all the stuff up there because it was much higher.
Yes, exactly.
But that switchback starts from within the walls, right? It's not like you can skirt the city to get to that switchback and go up there, right?
I'm not sure if you can tell from here.
Okay. I don't know.
Well, the guards have seen us. We might as well.
Slash wave.
Slash wave.
I'm emoting now. I'm doing new things.
As
DUI stops, if we just turn around and run, they might get nervous and faces.
Yeah, I'll just wave. I'll just get off of the wagon and I'll wait. I'm just gonna wave and try and get their attention, and then I'm gonna point to the gate.
a couple of them, two of them go scurry kind of out of sight, and the other two are looking at each other back and forth, like waiting for the other one to do something. And the one that you sort of waved at walks along the wall to get a little bit closer to you. He looks down and he says, "Yeah, what do you need?"
Good day, friend. We're looking for a nice place to maybe lay our head for the night. Nice warm hearth and some toasty beds so we could sleep. We've been traveling very long. What say you?
He looks over at his buddy. He looks back down. He says, "Sorry, no inns, no taverns."
I'm gonna whisper to Thornton because he's right in front of me. I'm gonna say, "Ask him where they sleep."
Okay. Oh, okay. That's a good question. Going to ask him.
No beds.
So where do you sleep then yourselves, if I may inquire about?
My house.
Well, we have lots of treasure and rubies and other sorts of gems lots of things we can offer for a place to stay.
Maybe we say that we seek the wisdom of the abbot.
That'll be next.
They don't have one of those.
That'll be next, okay.
He says, your gold's no good here. We don't need gems. Sorry, we really can't help you guys.
These aren't the droids you're looking for, and I wave my so I say that. I say the thing that Sparkle just suggested. We heard there's a great and wise abbot that we would wish to speak to. Perhaps we've been sent here.
He says, the abbot. Well, we don't speak for the abbot. Doesn't come down here much. Just a second. And then he disappears. Kind of climbs down the other side of the wall. This guard here, though, is just sitting there and just kind of staring at you guys. And the guy goes away for a few minutes.
How clearly can we see them? I mean, like, can we, like, do they just look like normal humanoids from what we can tell?
Yeah, make a perception check. It's about 9 or 10 in the morning, just for the record. You guys got a long rest in. Make sure you clocked that in the last session. You got up from your long rest and headed here, and it was only like an hour. You got a 9?
Yeah.
They look like normal humans.
Okay.
As far as you could tell. You're about 40-some feet away. It's a little bit snowy here, but it's, there's some light at this point. So, yeah, they look like guards. Nothing out of the ordinary.
And the door's like come. No, never mind.
What?
Done. I don't want to cause any problems.
The double doors, if you're looking at them, are thick wood planks. They got big iron bands, and it's sealed shut. Looks like it's sealed shut at this point.
Okay.
Are you going to wait for that guy to come back, or is there anything else you want to do?
Thorin's good.
All right. If nobody else does anything in the meantime, from one of the from the right guard tower thing, gatehouse that's on the right side of the gate, there's little windows up in them. You see the first guard kind of walk up to the window, and standing next to him is like an older gentleman who looks down at you. And let me see if I can. And this guy, that didn't work. But I'll fix that later. Guy looks down at the group and he says, "I understand you folk want to see the. You want to talk to the abbot, and you were sent here."
Aye, that's partly true.
Okay, well, my name is Baron Kreskov, and I rule this town. We're not open to visitors right now, unfortunately.
We're not visiting the town. We're visiting the abbot.
You gotta speak up, little one.
So, I guess then she'll use minor illusion to send her voice over and explain that, though, no, they're not looking to visit the town, they're looking to visit the abbot. So if he could just please produce the abbot.
Says, I'm sorry, I don't speak for the abbot. He occasionally comes down from the abbey to visit the town, but it's been a little bit of time since we've seen him. and to get up to the Abbey, you'd have to come through town, and I'm just afraid we can't open the gates right now.
You escort us there if you're so nervous about us entering your town. Escort us to the Abbey, and we'll make our way out.
We're not looking for trouble. We'd be willing to have an escort. It's a matter of life and death.
Says, yeah, well, there's an awful lot of you. I gotta admit, it's making us a little nervous. What's your business with the abbot?
So I'm gonna look over at Sparkle and try to just whisper to him. And Van Richten, what do you want to tell us? What do you want to tell this guy? Do we tell him that we're fighting against Strahd right now, or do we tell him something else?
I'm a little hesitant to tell him what.
Van Richten, what say you? You know more about this.
He looks over and he says, well, I'd heard these people are a little guarded about outsiders, so this sort of adds up, but I don't know what to tell them to convince them to let us in.
What if we send just you and maybe two of our party, and maybe they'll feel less anxiety if they just take like you, Sparkle, and Alaric as a bodyguard. Maybe they'll feel more comfortable rather than having all 7 of us.
If Sparkle still has the invisibility thing, maybe we can kind of sneak in behind.
I'm pretty sure Sparkle can burn the whole place down if needed.
Excellent.
Well, if they don't let us in, I can get us in. Let me see here.
I say we dig a hole right underground.
So
Such a dwarven.
we'll just look up at the abbot and at the Baron and just say, would you agree to have a small portion of our party come in, and you could bear witness along with us to what we have to say to the abbot? It's very important, but I don't want everyone to hear it. I don't think it's for prying eyes right now to be shouting it over a wall. We'd be willing to have an escort and only send a small part of our group in.
Or you could hold one of our party with you as
Collateral.
Yeah, it's collateral.
Yeah, well, I gotta admit, I just don't want you guys anywhere near the town. Outsiders like you tend to bring trouble, and we don't need any.
Outside.
But you don't
We
even
grew up
I mean,
here.
You don't even know us though.
Well, I can tell by the looks of you, you're not from Barovia.
And
That
might be a
usually-
good thing
isn't
for
that usually a good
Barovia.
thing?
Not for us. That either means you're on one side of the dilemma here or the other, and either way is is going to bring trouble to us. So.
Did something happen recently to make you guys so averse to having anyone come to your town, even a small group of people?
Well, I mean, we mean no harm. We'll gladly, leave our weapons with you, whatever you need. We just need a break from our trip.
He says, well, it's not what has happened, it's what's not happened. The policy of not inviting in strangers has kept us safe for quite a while.
Let me speak to the manager, please.
As I assure you, I am the highest authority in this village.
So Baron,
That's a fucking laugh.
you've been sitting on the fence. You've been sitting on the fence, not taking sides. Is that what you're telling me?
Oh, it's not worth taking a side. As soon as you pick a side, you got a target on your back, and we've done just fine keeping our head low.
Amen,
So-
amen, brother.
Let's trade some information then. I don't know if you heard, but the village of Alaki was overrun.
We heard there was a group of outsiders somehow involved in the whole process.
Well, I can tell you
Totally not us.
that's a bold-faced lie spread by the House of Wachter.
I'm not interested in Vallaki politics, but I don't doubt what you're saying. Either way, the biggest impact here is we haven't received our wine delivery that we get every month, and that's starting to cause some problems.
Where do you get your wine delivered? Or where? How often? You said once a month.
About once a month.
So that's interesting, Baron. We happen to be friends with the people that supply the wine, and they happen to owe us a great many favors.
When you say that, he starts to look a little more interested, and he says, "Did you bring any?"
Under my breath to the group, does anybody have anything?
I pull out. I've got a
think we
couple
do have
bottles of Red Dragon.
Yeah, I think Deckard has some.
I didn't get to that yet.
Probably.
Yeah. Deckard pulls out a bottle of Red Dragon Crush and he goes, "I've been hiding this from Thornton."
Deckard?
I know, brother. I was saving it for a good time. I knew if I just, you'd have poured this on the fish we were eating the other night.
Balsamic reduction.
I was saving this for when Strahd was dead.
All right, that's fair.
But
That's fair.
I think I have like 2 bottles. I don't have a bunch. I can't remember where I took it from.
You took it from when we were in that wine cellar. You've had it since then, I think.
And so I pull out 2 bottles of Red Dragon Crush and I say, "Well, fella, there's plenty more where this came from if you want."
He squints. He looks down and he looks at the 2 guards next to him who seem to be surprised a little bit. And he says, "Just a moment," as he disappears. And a minute or 2 later, the front gates creak open. And he's standing in front of you now. He looks like this.
Ooh.
Oh, God.
Ooh.
He's got like a Reiki crystal in his ear.
Ooh.
Middle-aged kind of guy. A little bit rough around the edges, a little kind of weathered.
He needs some cocoa butter on his head.
And he's standing there with a couple guards around him. Let me fix this a little bit. And he says, he goes, that wine there won't be enough to take care of the whole town, but you've definitely piqued my interest. Maybe we can go somewhere where it's a little quieter to talk.
That would be agreeable.
That's fair.
Where are you proposing we go?
He says, my home is actually quite close to here. If you'd like, we can go there, and I'll see what I can do for you, as long as you aren't disruptful in town, and maybe we can talk about arranging a wine shipment if you're so close with the Wizard of Wines. Is that fair?
That sounds good to me.
And he holds out his 2 hands like this to you, Deckard.
Oh, Deckard, don't do it. Just give him one, lad.
I don't happen to have any grape mash in my pack, do I? I don't even know. I almost want to pretend I do.
He wants the Red Dragon Crush, not that grape swill.
The Red Dragon Crush, and I pull out a grape mash number 3. Number 4? Number 3.
Number 3.
He's going to be insulted.
I'll tell you what.
The old bait and
We get
switch.
the answer we're looking for. That Red Dragon Crush has your name on it. Up and down. For now, you can sip on this.
And you give him what?
Grape mash.
We're going to get stabbed.
I mean, did you have some? It doesn't. Whatever.
No, let's I give him one bottle of Red Dragon Crush, and I say, "We get the other one when we get what we need."
Says, well, all right. Let's talk about that. The horses, the wagon, they got to stay outside though. Guards will watch them.
Mr. Snickers here. He's kind of VIP, so he's gonna need like a trough. He's gonna need some special treatment. I don't know about these other imaginary horses over here, but this one will be well taken care of.
He says, yeah, of course. Yeah, the guards will take real good care of your snipples.
Snip.
Simple.
Well, then, if the rest of you would like to follow me, we can head to my home and see how I can help you out.
Do you have any food?
We do, but now you're asking me to be led into my town, escorted to this abbot, your horse Snipples taken care of, and you've given me one bottle of wine.
I would exchange gold for your food or even silver, but you know what? Never mind. That's fine. Forget it.
Don't need gold. Don't want silver.
All right. And I don't want food, so we're good.
Fair enough.
We happen to be responsible for every amount of Grape Mash and Red Dragon Crush being produced by that winery right now. So you take care of us. I promise you, we can.
Oh no, that's okay, Deckard. Don't worry. I rescind my request for food. That's okay.
Make a persuasion check, though, Deckard.
Oh, we know how good I am at those.
Oh,
15.
Not bad.
He says, well, you know what? The wine shipment's several weeks late, and with everything else that's going on, it's trouble. So I'll at least hear you out. Let's get to my house. Be a little quieter.
All right. Let's go, fellas.
All right. Let's see if I need to go here. This was a little. Yeah, so this is what you'd seen so far. So you head inside the gates. You're going to have to zoom in quite a bit. These squares are like 50 feet. This is a real large town. But come inside a little bit here. You see a good little chunk of that. And right inside the front gates, just a couple houses in, there's a larger home, which is the burgomaster's cottage, it looks like. And let's see, I'll move you there. So he kind of walks down the street. It's a real, it's a mist-shrouded village. You're kind of tucked into some like mountains here and hills and stuff. To the west, beyond this city, the mist kind of almost forms a wall. Like the further you look west, you just stop seeing landscape and horizon and just eventually just blanks out into just a wall of mist. But when you come inside... Yeah. What was that?
We've hit the edge of the map in GTA.
Right. You loop back around the other side. And what you see is kind of like, it's odd that on the inside of the city walls are tons of trees. You know, it's like the trees are built and protected inside of this, the outer wall structure. And you see a lot of really small cottages. They look tiny, you know, maybe they're 10 by 20 feet at most. Except for this burgomaster's cottage is a little bit bigger that he rolls up to. But you don't hear a lot. You see some people walking back and forth. They look kind of normal. They're all kind of quiet and keep their heads down. And they're doing things. People are walking around. They've got food, it looks like. They've got wood in wagons and stuff. They're chopping trees. It looks like a busy city that's People are kind of moving around. Everybody you walk by kind of looks at you like strange and is like, who are these people? A little cautious and nervously. You don't see a ton of guards like you did in maybe Vallaki, but you do see them here and there. And you get to this mansion, this cottage that's bigger than some of the others, and there's smoke coming out of the chimney, and it looks like it's decently furnished and everything. And this Baron walks up to the front door and swings it open, and he just says, I know, we got visitors, but hear me out. And you see a woman inside go, "You're bringing in trouble." And he says, but he says they know the Mardikovs. They say they can resume the wine shipments. And she says, "Okay, bring them in. I'll get some tea going." And she, this woman, this about his age, this more middle-aged woman, looks a little kind of rough herself, looks at you guys and kind of nods and then scurries off into like this kitchen.
A cute little house.
And and then the Baron walks in and invites you in. Says, "Come on in. Let's chat." You guys have a big crew here.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of big fat fucks.
Oh
Yeah, like 8 of you. All right, so you guys all kind of squeeze into this living room. I guess this of the burgomaster's cottage. He sits down and he says, "I got to tell you, right off the bat here, I can't introduce you to the abbot. We kind of keep our space. The abbot's come down here a few times and does what he needs to do, and we give him some distance, and he leaves us alone. You're more than welcome. Once we've sort of made arrangements for this wine shipment, I would trust you to make your way up there yourselves if you'd like to try to talk to the man."
That's fine.
What do you mean try? Like, we wouldn't be able to just go speak to him freely, or?
I'm not sure. I don't know what he'll think about some visitors. Like I said, our people don't go up there anymore. It's been quite some time.
How long of a trip is it to get up that mountain?
No, it's not an easy climb up the trail there, but you get there in a few minutes. It's not a long journey.
You know why you stopped going? Did something happen?
Well, for years now, the Abbey's been a little bit of a strange place. We hear strange noises. We know there's some weird stuff going on there, but as long as we keep our distance, they don't bother us down here.
We heard he doesn't age. Is that
That's
just a rumor? Or?
That's a rumor. I've known the man for a few years, and I can't say I've noticed he's aged.
When was the last time you saw him?
Yeah, it's been a few months. He comes down to the pool. We've got a nice freshwater pool down here, and there's a bit of a shrine that he comes and visits occasionally. Maybe gets some water.
What does he smell like?
I can't say I've smelled the man.
So there's no smell.
Not that I noticed.
Interesting.
I guess
Interesting.
what
Very
I'm
interesting.
wondering is, where do they get their supplies if they're only coming every few months? Do they load up on food and provisions?
Well, I think they've kind of figured it out like we have, and they're self-sustaining, and they're growing and catching and doing what they need to survive. We have everything we need here in these city walls. I assume they've done the same.
Okay.
Is there a large group in the Abbey besides the abbot?
His wife comes in now and starts handing out some tea that she made with a mold with roots and leaves and stuff. It smells okay, and she puts out something that looks like a honey or a nectar or something that you can put some drops in there to sweeten it up, and she passes that around. But she catches you asking that question, and she kind of gives the burgomaster a little bit of a funny look.
Any bacon or Hawaiian rolls?
She says, no. She says we've got some stew. We have some rabbit stew and with some carrots and stuff in it. And the Baron looks at her, kind of scowls a little bit, and he says, they gave me a bottle so far. One.
This guy's a cheap fuck. He's a real fucking miser, this guy. He's a real miser. Okay.
And she says, okay, we'll tea for now then.
Oh, I'd really like some of that stew.
Deckard pulls out one bottle of Red Dragon Crush. He goes, "Give the damn dwarf some stew." That sounds horrible. I can't listen to him bitch all. He got going.
So the Baron he smirks a little bit. Alaric.
I can't listen to him bitch all.
No, Juniper. So you get a bit of a smirk out of him for a second, but Juniper, you notice the Baron has almost a hard time smiling, and he smiles, and then he gets this look on his face where he's almost disappointed that he let himself smile, and then his face goes real sad, real lost in thought, and just this really sad look on his face, just for a moment. But then he looks back up at his wife and says, "All right, bring out some stew. This bottle of wine will get you and I through the weekend." And she does. He looks back at you and he says, "So what is the situation at the winery? Are we going to be able to get something here soon?"
It's running perfectly. It's a well-oiled machine, some would say. It's running great.
Well, there was a delay in their production, but we helped with
Slight delay.
But that's where we came in.
It was overrun with scarecrow men, and we destroyed them. And now everyone in Barovia can drink.
Wow.
Because
And then
of this group here.
Our little goat friend over here, she did some some voodoo magic, and made
Camera
the
kind of cuts to Juniper as she's squeezing all of that honey as much as she can into the cup of tea.
It's gonna be off the walls.
and she made it so the ground grew grapes, real nice luscious grapes for the wine.
He's excellent in plants.
And then Thoradin stomped them with his bare feet.
The Baron's looking back and forth as you guys are saying this. He looks confused and fascinated and appalled that Juniper's dumping out all his sweet nectar. And he says, "Okay, I'm not sure what to make of it, but so could you get word to the winery that we're overdue?"
I think we'll go there in person.
How far is the winery from here?
Yeah, let me pull out my cell phone, Burgermaster. I mean,
Yeah, really.
Yeah, what? How far are we from?
I want to look at the map again. Are we going to go past the winery to get after we visit the
can we send a pigeon? Do they have carrier pigeons in Barovia? Can
If if you guys want to pull out your map, are you pulling out your map real quick, Punch?
Can
He's not
Juniper
gonna-
pull out a
he's not
carrier
gonna let us
pigeon?
go to the abbot until we do something for him.
Juniper
so-
actually can pull out a pigeon.
Oh, that's not far,
So-
is it?
Oh, that's not far at all.
No,
that's
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 just
a half a
south.
day's walk.
And I think we owe them a visit anyway after what
Yeah.
happened.
That's about
I
4
agree.
hours. That's about 4 hours.
Maybe that's just what we offer up for eating here and staying here.
Yeah.
And,
When
you know, just free passage through here, you know. Say we'll make a run for them.
Maybe we'll split up. Maybe half of us go see the well, no, that doesn't make any sense because we're right here.
I could always hop up on Snickers and head on down.
Yeah, I guess we probably don't need to send everybody down there.
That's right.
Maybe some of us could stay and help out Dimitri in his town.
Yeah, grab some side quests maybe.
Yeah, I like side quests. I'll chop some fucking wood.
Yeah, I'll pick up some poop.
Yeah, by horse, you're not far from there.
3 clicks.
Yeah, so
How many? 12
Deckard
parts.
looks- At Dimitri, and he says, "You know, I could hightail it on good old Snickers and get down there real quick, but not if he ain't being, you know, he's not getting good eats right now. It'd take a little longer. So I hope you guys were listening when I said take care of him."
He loves
Good.
rabbit.
They have good
Ew.
carrots and parsnips here. I noticed.
Carnivorous horse. Only in Barovia, right?
Winning, bro.
So he's and as you're saying that, Deckard, Esmeralda walks over to you and she says, I can get there pretty quick too, if you'd like me to go.
But the lady only got 1 leg. I don't know how fast she could go.
She goes, "Oh, I'm pretty good on a horse."
Ah, light and swift, probably.
When she says that, and we're gonna pretend I have a girl DM right now. Decker gives her a wink, like, "All right, like, get on a horse." All right.
So yeah, she offers it if you want to take her up on it. But,
She's not as close with the Markovs as we are.
point,
That's-
actually,
Yeah, one of us needs to go down there and, you know, go through what they went through. Because they ran for their lives. One of us has to explain the situation.
Yeah.
I am a little hesitant to split up, though. That's not always done us very well. Would it be possible for, if you give us?
We have
I
a
mean,
we have a very large group, so I'm not that worried about it.
The last time we split up, we carried that dragon skull back to that mausoleum in like record time.
Yeah, that was a pretty sick fucking play.
Okay.
But then one time someone died, so you know, 1 and 1.
you're 1 and 1 on that one, yeah.
500. It's all right.
Well, that guy had a death wish anyway, so
I just feel like all the beasties in the land kind of know what we're doing now. So the wolves could jump us. Strahd's minions could jump us. I don't know if it's a good idea.
Well, I just don't see why we need to. I mean, if you allow us to, peaceably visit the abbot, leave our way, we can head south, be there in a few hours' time, and ask them to prioritize.
yeah. I mean, we're all right
their
here.
shipment to this town.
How do I know you're gonna do that?
So you're gonna want the wine first, is what you're saying.
Or some sort of a guarantee.
I could take a shit in a box and might get guaranteed, but I don't know how far that would get us, lad.
I don't think it would be that difficult for us to load this wagon up, get to the Wizard of Wines, and get back here. Full group, armed guards, all of us on the road protecting it.
I mean, we will travel slower if we are all together, right, Dan? As if we're a whole caravan, as
That way.
opposed to.
Yeah, it'd be a little slower than one person on one horse. Or
How
a couple
fast
people
could-
on horses.
How fast could Deckard get there on a horse?
Well, it's not just getting there; it's getting back with a bunch of wine
You
too.
got to come back with at least like a barrel or two.
Right. So then we do
Right.
need the wagon
Okay.
to bring.
Come back with, like an order, signed order. From
You
the
gonna come back with a payout?
What's that?
You gonna come back with a purchase order?
Yeah, he's gonna have an invoice.
Yeah.
So okay,
Here's
so
my
Open him-
invoice.
if could 2 people go on Snickers? Is that a thing?
Maybe
Probably not you and another person, but
No,
a smaller
it doesn't
person.
have to be me. But like, what if 2
Maybe
people went?
Sparkle
And
and
would
Dexter or
they
something.
would they there have means for us to use something to get the wine back, right? Because I mean, they would be the ones shipping it. Could we just run the shipment for them with
If
their own wagon or whatever, right? Like, how do they do it?
no, they had a wagon, but it got set on fire by some group of crazy people.
Yeah, we use that as
But I mean, is that? Do we know for a fact that's all that they had? I mean, like, what are the?
that was the only wagon they had in the
That
warehouse.
was right. That's what they had there. We don't know if they've got a new wagon since then. I think if we are planning on bringing wine back, we should just bring the wagon. If we're just gonna do a purchase order and bring it back signed, then we just send Will and maybe someone else, a Deckard and somebody else. So we have to kind of figure out what we want to do. I think from those two options.
So then
Probably
maybe
do
we
Deckard and then
send the
Ronaldo
wagon
with-
with a handful of us, and then some of us stay here and help them,
Yeah.
and get in their good graces. And
Yeah, build up
Prove-
rapport,
prove
rapport,
our
rapport
worth.
build. Yeah,
Yes,
rapport
like,
build.
two of us could stay here and like chop
I'm a
wood.
big Lark's a big dude, so he'll just stay here and
Thanks.
help
Let's-
around.
yeah.
Fix
Grab
shit.
some side quests. Yeah, there you go.
I could write you a nice IOU.
Out in the woods.
Hold on to this one.
Drink.
500 now. This is
Has,
the big one.
since we've been sitting, I know this has all been out of character, Dan, but since we've been sitting here, has Dimitri been? Has he already broken into the wine?
No,
Okay.
it's 10 in the morning, but
A lot of people
I mean,
drink at 10
So
o'clock
he
in the
is,
morning.
he is hard up for it though.
He
been
was-
like-
he's
he
eyed
was
it up a
saying
lot.
He was saying some things that I thought he would maybe be wanting to drink the wine.
Yeah, no, he's eyeing it up,
Okay.
but no, he didn't open it yet.
Just thought he's a raging alcoholic.
Who? All right. Which one of us is? Who's going down to the winery? Who wants to be the?
Well, maybe Esmeralda takes away.
Small, if you're looking just for, somebody small on Snickers, but if we're taking the cart, doesn't matter.
Probably should.
Well,
send
we could
4
always
people,
have people
right?
bring a
Why
cart
don't we-
back.
why don't we
right?
send 4 of us on the cart?
Yeah, choose a party. Select
Maybe
4
like-
party members.
Maybe some smaller people.
Esmeralda.
and-
I put Esmeralda and Spargle and Holden. Would you rather stay here and mess up their bathroom, or would you?
Yeah.
with us?
Mess
Do-
up the bathroom.
Do we have any reason that any one of us should or shouldn't be going down there? Like, did we have any? Did they have any favorites or anybody they didn't like?
No.
It was kind of just a big group thing, right?
Well, who talked to Erwin the most? Probably Thoradin, right? Me or Thoradin?
That's why I was gonna say, like, maybe
So maybe somebody should
Thoradin
go.
Yeah, I'll
Who's
go.
close with Erwin.
I'll go.
So maybe
So-
me and Thoradin and like one of the magic users.
Juniper, you, Juniper, and Alark stay behind. And and our older fella,
Ron Rickton?
Ron Rickton, he can stay. So 4 of us go down, 4 of us stay here.
I think that works.
All right, let's load
All right,
up.
so-
Where's Snick?
So I'm sorry. So who's going?
Deckard, Spargle, Thoradin, and Esmeralda.
Okay, so before you guys leave, Juniper's gonna pull Sparkle to the side and open up her bag of rocks and place a few rocks in his hand.
Thank you.
Good luck. Don't die. Don't kill anyone.
Play nice with these folks too.
So the Baron says, Well, great. And so you're taking that big wagon you rolled up in, and you'll be bringing some wine back. Is that the
Oh,
plan?
that's the plan, but I can't guarantee that we'll have a shipment ready to come back. But that's the plan.
Okay. Well then,
There we go.
Can you agree then that if we fulfill this to give us, I guess, the freedom to pass through the city, to visit the abbot, go on our way? We're demonstrating our intentions aren't.
you notice that him and his wife, the Baroness, kind of exchange looks for a second. You're not sure what looks they are, but then he looks back and he says, "As long as you keep your heads down here and don't get everybody riled up, I think it's a fair deal. I do appreciate you hooking us up here. Things have been real rough lately, especially for me and my wife. So I do appreciate it. You mentioned some chopping wood. I can't say that we pass up a little bit of help here as well. And definitely would be happy to put a roof over your head and fill your bellies while you're here."
Absolutely.
Oh, so much for that whole hospitality thing when we rolled up, eh?
Says, "Well, you said the magic word,
Wine.
wine."
All right.
Show
All
me
right. So let's see. So we'll start with Spargle, Thornton, Deckard, and Esmeralda. So Esmeralda and Rick and Van Richten talk about the wagon, and they're kind of whispering something back and forth. They're just talking low. He's basically giving her instruction and telling her to keep, don't wreck the wagon. You know how to summon the horses, and she says, yeah, and then so they spin off and head back up towards the gates, which is only a few hundred feet away from this cottage. Snickers is there, just tied to a tree, for what it's worth.
No drop.
No.
Uh-oh.
Esmeralda hops into the wagon, says the command word, and the two spectral horses spawn again. Everybody else jumps in, and you guys start heading that way?
My ride, Snickers.
What's that? Oh, are you riding Snickers? Is that your game plan?
Yeah, I'm gonna go on Snickers.
Okay. So yeah, you untie Snickers and hop on, and you guys start heading down the path. You kind of know your way there. It's the for those of you that went before, which I think was everybody except Esmeralda. It's the same path you came before when you went to the winery. It's sort of midday. What do you do? How are you traveling? Full speed, stealthy, on the road, off the road, anything?
I think we'd probably stick to the road.
Yeah, I think so.
Full speed on the road.
All right. You guys get about halfway there, and you turn this bend towards the winery, and down the road in front of you, you see 6 raggedy-looking figures walking down the road towards the winery, and they're kind of like, they walk kind of funny. They have like funny kind of gait or movement about them.
Are they homeless?
They look like they're in tattered clothing from where you're about you're got about 100 feet away. But yeah,
Homeless people probably.
Do they look like scarecrows?
Is this on the map?
make a perception check.
You talking to me?
Yeah,
The map wasn't supposed to change. Never mind.
Okay.
I'll just move you. I'll just show you where you guys are here.
13.
Let's see. You'll be Team Gray.
With NBA Court Optics and Microsoft, you know that if Jay...
You said a 13.
Yeah.
You can't tell because you're still far away, but they don't seem to be human. Or if they're humans, there's something wrong with them the way they're walking.
Yeah.
Crocus?
Let's see.
Boy, that was mean, Adam.
6 of them?
I'm allowed to do that.
Yeah, there's 6 of them that you can see.
What do you think? It's not good they're heading towards the winery.
Let's ask them if they need help with anything.
This should go well.
So you roll up closer and say something, hail them.
I'm not afraid of these fucking people.
We could hail them and kind of get ready beforehand. You know what I mean? Like, get ready and then.
Yeah, right.
Okay. As soon as you make yourself known to them, they spin around, and they are scarecrows, and there's 6 of them, and they stop their lumbered movement. One of them, like, you know, one of the horse hooves gets close enough that it clomps down, or you say, "Hey," and the one like kind of stops in this like robotic kind of jagged movement. Head kind of turns around, and then it like its pumpkin-y mouth like shrieks as the other ones all spin around too, and they all start like
All right.
charging at you.
Let's do this.
Yep. So you 4 roll initiative.
Thorin goes, "Oh, I gotta crack some more skulls. Here we go. Just wanted to go get some fucking wine."
Remember, these guys don't like fire.
Yeah, I bet they don't like my blade up their arse either, Spargle. But you're right.
Oh, who does like your blade up their ass?
No one does, Sparky. Nobody does, my friend.
All right. The one that spun around kind of comes charging towards you, Spargle, and that crazy face that it has, and is Spargle left. Put on his invisibility cloak. Oh, there it is. All right. I don't know. Do you hear me, Punch? You hear me? You don't?
No, repeat. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, I didn't know if you had headphones or what. So the one that kind of turned and looked at you right away, the other ones are running towards the group, like, jangling towards you guys. But he's stopping and he's staring right at you, Spargle, and his face continues to contort into this crazy, terrifying stare. You need to make a wisdom save.
Is it a magical type of thing? Because I do those at advantage.
Yes.
Okay.
21. Ooh.
Okay. You don't know why this thing is making this crazy look at you, but you just roll your eyes at it and it has no effect.
I look right back and I go,
Deckard, it's your turn.
So how far away from me is the weird one that's like staring at Spargle?
He's about 50 feet away, and the other ones are about 30 feet away now.
Okay. 30 feet away. So yeah, Deckard just he draws his heavy crossbow. What's heavy? What's the range on that?
Should be pretty huge range.
Yeah, 100. So yeah, heavy crossbow, and I am going to. Where is it? Yep, use my bonus action to Crimson Right. So the crossbow bursts into flame, and I take. 4 damage.
Okay.
So Deckard winces a little bit.
Sparkle cracks
Crossbow.
a little bit. He loves when you light that on fire. He's excited.
Deckard tips his cap at Sparkle and
Light him up.
fires at the weird-faced one staring at Sparkle.
Okay.
So, come on, 13.
That's a hit.
Wow.
Whew.
Yeah, they're a bunch of slags. You could hit them.
Why won't that roll? There we go. 6 damage. Just normal piercing. And 5 fire damage.
Okay. So the arrow itself, or the bolt itself, pierces through it like kind of quickly and doesn't seem to catch much of its material, and it just kind of passes right through. But then this tiny little like smoldering hole from where it went through suddenly starts to grow as he's on fire, and he's like, patting at it, trying to put it out, like, but he keeps missing the little fiery hole and is like kind of seems preoccupied with this fight.
You're looking a little hot.
So Deckard pops another bolt in that crossbow in record speed and shoots him again.
Now, will this one be normal?
God.
Wow.
Oof, you hate to see it. Really, you do. You really hate to see it.
You rolled a 2 and a 1.
That's a fucking Will Lyle move right there.
No doubt.
He's gonna re-roll now. Shit.
Gonna make a barbarian.
The funny thing, the funny thing is that would have hit, but if it weren't a natural one.
Well, would have hit if it wasn't a net.
Yeah.
That's
So actually, you're so accurate that your second bolt goes exactly through the same hole and
That's
doesn't.
awesome.
It just goes through a hole and goes right back out the other side. Doesn't do anything to the scarecrow.
Deckard, that was a hell of a shot. I think it went right through him.
God damn it.
I think you missed.
I don't need your shit, Thornton. You're always dogging on me.
I thought you had him, lad.
Take care of these things, damn it.
Esmeralda steps back. She jumps off the wagon, and she lands on the ground, and she kind of gets an angle on the whole group of them. And she doesn't draw any weapons. She puts her hands out like this, and she's murmuring something. And she throws her hands out like Emperor Palpatine style, and these bolts of lightning come flying out and strike all of the scarecrows in a straight line.
She's badass.
I think the leg grounds her. I think that's how she does it.
See, 100 feet long and 5 feet wide. Okay, so she catches 4 of the scarecrows.
I bet you the winery's fucking overrun.
I know, I worry about the same thing.
I bet you it's fucking overrun.
So the lightning hits 4 of them, and just straw and pumpkin flesh and like all this crap starts just blasting off of them. But they all seem to be standing upright still. I mean, they're still like put together and standing, but they're all like sort of half disintegrated at this point.
There's pumpkin flesh everywhere.
Yes.
Ugh. Happy Halloween.
Ugh. Nope, don't
And
We want some
Esmeralda,
pumpkin pie, lads.
Esmeralda shakes her hands off the little bit of the smoke coming from them, and she looks tired from that And she looks at you guys and she goes, "Finish him off." It's Thoradin's turn.
Well, don't mind if I do.
Did you guys see my roll for damage?
No.
Did it come up? It's okay. I wasn't sure how that shows up.
How far away am I? 50 feet, you said?
Yeah. 50 feet from the leader guy who stopped, who Deckard was shooting. But the others kind of ran forward a little bit, so you're only 30 feet from them.
Oh, perfect. I'm going to use a Misty Step.
And those are the ones that got blasted too, so they all look pretty ripped up.
Yeah, I'm going to use a Misty Step to get right next to them. So I'm going to use one of those spell slots.
Okay.
So that'll put me 30 feet from where I am. So I'm assuming I'm going to be right in the middle of them.
Yeah, you're in the middle of like about 3 of them at this point.
Yeah. I don't think I have any sort of AoE spells. Searing Smite. No. So I think I get 2 attacks anyway. So I'll attack one that's adjacent to me.
Okay.
One-handed. I'm using a shield as usual, and I'll use Talon.
Cool.
So I'll pick up Talon, and I'm going to say, "You ugly pumpkin scarecrow-looking bastard!" And I'm going to just pull my sword down with a 28, natural 20.
Ooh, that's a crit. Okay. So you roll your damage, and then roll the base damage of Talon, whatever D8 or D10 it is, one more time.
Yeah, I think it does it automatically. So.
Oh, it might. You're right.
Yeah. So 2 + 2 + 4, 8 damage. A crit.
So wait, did that do it? So Talon was 1d8 + 4, so it rolled an extra d8. Is that what it did?
It did, and it was a shit roll, but yeah. 2 shit
Okay.
rolls.
All right. Well, that was enough to take out one of them.
All right, and then I go right across to the other one. $22.
That's a hit as well.
6.
Okay, that one. You cut one of its arms clean off. It's smashed up pumpkin head, or it's burned up pumpkin head is a little singed and melting off, but it's still standing there.
Cool.
Can you do anything else?
No, I used the bonus action. I used my 2 attacks. That's all I could do.
You're not doing an initiative thing anywhere, are you, Dan? Like
I'm sorry, I'm doing it because I didn't want to waste too much time. I'm doing it on the encounter runner, so I can load it up over here. Yeah, you're gonna be up. There's a scarecrow, and then you're up.
Yep.
Is that cool? Let's see. So. Okay, so I can do this easily. So 3, there's 2 scarecrows near Thoradin now, and they both turn in towards you, Thoradin, after you kind of killed their one buddy, and they just start slashing at you with these like claw hand type things.
Yeah.
So they swing at you 4 different times, and one of them was a 17.
So we have a +1 because of the Argynvost spell, right? That aura, that spell, we had a +1 armor class.
Yeah.
Like a magic shield or something.
That's right.
Yeah.
With that, my armor class is 19. So.
Wow. Okay. So these 2 scarecrows just barrage you with they just start scraping at you, from both sides, and you just deflect everything with your shield, and their weak little wooden straw claws just don't go through any of your armor.
Got it.
All right, Spargle, it's your turn.
I would like to place a fireball right in the middle of as many of these mofos as I can.
What's your diameter on fireball?
20 feet.
Okay, so you could hit. Let's see. There's 1, 2, 3. There's 4 remaining that are sort of at the forward position. You could hit all 4 of them, and then you just have the one back at the back that Deckard was shooting. So you get 4 out of the 5.
Now the one in the back goes unscathed, right?
No, he got hit in the chest with a flaming bolt, and he's kind of on fire now.
If I included him, how many could I get? Really don't like. He scowled at me.
You could get. I would say you could get 4 out of the 5 either way. If you want him to be one of the 4, then that would just leave the one closest to like at the front untouched.
Let's do that.
Okay. All right, that works.
And then.
So they have to make a Dex savings throw. Is that correct?
Correct. They need to do a Dex 17.
17. Okay. Wow. 3 of them saved. 3 out of 4. I rolled a 17, 16, 15, and 16 on 4 20s. But they take half damage if they save.
Right. So 34 if they didn't, and then 17 if they did.
Okay. Well, it doesn't matter with the lightning bolt that hit them and everything else. And I'm sorry. So wait, 17 if they didn't. Okay, so
17 for saves, 34 for not save.
Oh, and it's fire damage.
Yep.
Oh yeah, they're all dead. They all just absolutely just disintegrate. It's like if you took like 4 napkins and threw them into a bonfire, they wouldn't even like float to the ground before they turned into ash. That's what happened to these 4 things. They just completely disintegrated. There's one left who's like all fucked up from lightning bolts, and he kind of turns around and he like turns back and he's just standing in the middle of all of you. Oh, but it is his turn, and he is closest to you, Spargle. So he swings at you twice with his claws, and one was a natural 20.
Oh, go! I'm going to shield.
Uh-oh.
Okay, so that would be a 23. It would have been a 23 to hit, so you get plus 5 to your AC?
Yeah. So
does he still hit you?
Still hits me.
That doesn't sound fun.
No. It's rude.
It does 5 slashing damage.
Okay.
And then Deckard, it's back to your turn. There's just this one left. You shot the hell out of the sort of what looked like the leader guy. Esmeralda blasted them all with lightning, and then Spargle did his fireball thing, which just disintegrated 4 of them. And there's just one standing right next to Spargle. One that's clawing at Spargle and seems to have scratched his neck a little bit.
Yeah, so Deckard just lines up his crossbow and fires at this dude. Wow.
It hits.
Getting the rolls tonight.
Good thing you have a plus 11 to hit. Jesus Christ.
That's nuts.
So 9 regular damage.
So that's 2, 1, 2, and then a 4 on a 10. So you're killing it, Will.
And then 5 fire damage.
Okay, so this thing's still on fire.
My crossbow's still on fire.
Okay. Yep. The Scarecrow claws at Spargle. Spargle shouts because he gets hurt a little bit, and then this bolt just comes through the back of the pumpkin head as it just explodes. You get Spargle. You get a little bit of pumpkin guts on you as the body of the Scarecrow just falls right at your feet, and everything's quiet here.
Nice.
Well, let's hope there ain't a bunch more of them at this winery. If these Mardikovs lost their winery again, I'm pissed.
Erwin and Danica are supposed to be here too.
Let's go see what these Mardikovs are up to.
All right, so you load back up and head the rest of the way there. Really about probably a half hour.
Do we know what's directing these things? Like, trying to remember, is there any, do we know what's...
Remember, it was those druids?
Yeah. They did the construct, right? They did the druids. Was it the druids that did the scarecrows, or did they do the construct? The gem construct. When we met Juniper.
Want me to tell you? Or are you asking me as the DM, or are you asking each other?
I
I know the answer.
I think it's the construct, right? Things that we fought at the winery were just those wacky little needle things, right? They were insane druids too, though. They were. You're right.
So it was the druids of Yesterhill and the needle blights and the plant creatures. They were all kind of together attacking the winery. It was Baba Lysaga and the scarecrows that were sort of against the Mardikovs. And there's a little bit of probably overlap and stuff, but just that you would have all remembered that if it hadn't been months.
So Baba Lysaga, that's scary if she's somehow directing these little bastards again.
Would this group like to continue to the winery, or you guys want to do something else?
Yeah.
Definitely keep going.
Okay.
Yep.
Saddle up.
Saddle up, partner.
You get there by about noon, and you roll up to the winery, and it actually looks really good. It looks a lot better than when you left it the last time. The ritual that Juniper performed, you guys saw the initial, it taking at the beginning, and you had seen some things starting to, like buds starting to sprout on some of the grapevines. But now, what you roll up, it looks like a Sonoma Valley fucking winery. I mean, it's just like there's plump grapes growing on things, and there's people bustling around and doing things. And it isn't too long as you're rolling up that you see Davian Mardukov, Davian, the old man who's like the elder. And he comes running out. He sees you, Thoradin, and the others. He says, friends. He says, welcome. What brings you back?
Hey, Davos. Good to see you, lad.
He says, oh God. He says, what happened? Where's the rest of your party? Did something go down?
Go ahead, Decker.
Oh, you can go. No,
you go. Go ahead. Go. I want to hear you.
They're up at Kresk. We're up the road here, and they're waiting on us to come down here and check on you folks. And we might need a favor from you.
Favor, of course. Anything. So they're in Kresk. The Dimitri let them in, or they're trying to get in.
Yeah, they actually let us in. That's actually why we're here. We were able to bribe them a bit with a few bottles of Red Dragon Crush I had stashed away in my pack, and they're jonesing for a shipment from the Mardikovs. They seem to be a little anxious.
I know. I
up there.
Everybody is. Obviously, we've stopped shipments to Vallaki. That's until we're forced or they come at us, we've cut them off. The new burgomaster of the village of Barovia, a man named Ismark, who took over for his father, has resumed purchasing, and we've sent a shipment to him. So, Kresk was next on our list. We're just kind of in the production phase here still, though. That your forest gnome friend did wonders to bring our fields back, but we're just not quite there in terms of having any product ready.
Would one of those gems, green gems, help expedite the process?
Well, they'll definitely help the grapes grow, but there's nothing we can do to speed up the fermenting process with them.
Do you have any product available?
Well, we have what we have bottled, several cases.
We'll take them.
Is there any chance we could? I know you're probably hurting a little bit, but we have some serious business we're trying to take care of up in Kresk, and any assistance you might be able to provide us in being able to go back with something to show them that our biggest concern, Davian, is we need some proof that we're connected with you and have some, for lack of a better term, a relationship that we could get some wine up to those folks. So, is there any way you might allow us to have a few of those cases?
Even if you could write up a big estimate for 7 casks of wine, and then we could send it back to him, and it'll show good faith that we can provide what we're saying.
Oh, well, I mean, myself and my family, we owe you our lives. My son and his wife and their family were saved from Vallaki by another gentleman. I'd happily give you every bit of wine, but I'm reserving some of that in case he comes calling, because I'm so thankful for his service and what he gave up to save my son.
Who is that man? Van Richten. Is that his name?
No, I'm not going to say it.
Whom are you aware of the name of who might have saved him?
It was the circus man in town. Believe it or not, I hear he sacrificed his prized his prized show, his saber-toothed tiger, who I guess was killed by the Wachter clan, but bought enough time for some of my kin to escape.
The heavy fella, the toy maker.
No, the.
Oh yeah, right. That's right.
Here.
We went over this. That's right. We went over this already.
Our friend Von Richten is the one who released his tiger into town to help people.
He's with us right now.
He's with us. He's actually a part of our party up back in Kresk, waiting on this delivery.
Esmeralda steps forward and she says, "Sir, we haven't met, but I can vouch that what they say is the truth. The name, I think they got his name wrong. It's Rictavio, right? And at that point, the other Mardikovs, Erwin and Danica and their 2 sons, actually come out. And they see you guys and they're like, oh." She's like, and Erwin says, "You're." If you do that, he's actually cool with that here.
Yeah,
he's like, all right, we're not in public. We're amongst friends, so it's all right. Kind of sucked when you did that in the center of town, but now we're good. And he says, oh, he goes, what? Oh, it was things just went crazy in Valaki. You guys would have never known, but the old carnival man saved us and sent us out this way. So, what happened to the rest of you? Did you not get out of Valaki?
Oh, shit hit the fan. It was so bad, lad. We had so many issues.
But they're dead?
Who, the rest of
the group's good. Everyone's healthy and strong.
Yeah, they're up in Kresk.
But lots of people died, I hear. Lots of people.
Oh, Valaki's a mess. The Blue Water Inn is lost. We won't be able to go back there. We had planned to set up an operation in the village of Barovia, but with you in Kresk now, maybe that grumpy old hermit can be talked into opening his doors a little bit.
Maybe that's our leverage right there. Rather than a big IOU just saying, hey, look, you know what? Maybe we can send a tavern your way, and that opens up an option for you guys to have another line of business.
A nice, fresh, new watering hole.
Mm-hmm.
So Davian says, well, let's see. Here's what we can do. I owe you my life. I owe you saved the winery. You saved my whole family. We will give you every bit of bottled wine we have in the cellar. We have about 4 cases of Red Dragon Crush. And we'll write a note to the burgomaster and seal it with our seal. And I hope that buys you the favor you need. Does that sound good?
I think that would help us very much. We appreciate that. Does that sound good to everyone else?
Perfect.
I think that's exactly what we need. We'd be very grateful.
He looks up into the rafters. He looks around at his family and looks up into the rafters, and he says, enough eavesdropping, load their wagon, every bit of wine we have in the cellar. And these ravens come circling down from the rafters, and as they're floating to the ground, they transform into their human form, and they're servants of the Mardikovs. I mean, they're family, but they're some of the worker class, and they scurry off into the cellar. A few minutes later, they come up with several cases of wine loaded into the wagon. Davian walks off, and he comes back with a scroll after about a half hour or so, and it's sealed with a wax seal, and he hands it to you. He says, give this to the burgomaster. He says, strength in numbers. Don't worry about us here. This winery's fortified now. We can see anyone coming from a mile away.
We encountered some scarecrows on our way here. I don't know if you just be aware that there was about 6 of them around the bend.
Well, that's
I hear that, but I just don't want you guys. I want you guys to be ready in case there's more in their way. They seem to be headed this direction.
We had a scout at the ruins of Berez, a Meryl. We haven't heard back from her, but she had been watching the movement of the scarecrows in and out of the swamps. We feel that's their sort of base of operations. But like I said, we've got all of us here. 50 plus were-ravens. It's gonna take a lot to take this winery back.
It's good to hear. Well, suppose it does get hairy here. Do you have a way you might be able to contact us?
Well, if you say you're at Kresk, we can get a bird there in under an hour. So
right.
Watch for the ravens.
We appreciate it. Thanks for the help.
Likewise, and thank you for saving my son, my stupid son, and his family. If anyone recalls, Davian, I'll never say his name right because it just doesn't click in my brain, but he blamed his son. He blamed Erwin for losing one of the gems.
The gems.
That was the thing you learned before. So yeah. Anyhow.
Well, Deckard tips his cap. I'm assuming the wine's loaded up and our.
Yep.
You're
all ready.
Have you happened to see Ivina by any chance?
The pretty lady from the village.
Yeah. Have you seen her by chance?
No, I haven't.
All right.
Sorry.
All right. See ya.
You lost her.
No, she's
She ran away.
she was around, doing the things that she likes to do with Vasily. Have you seen Vasily by any chance?
I'm not familiar with that person.
You don't know him. Why would you know him? There's no reason why you would know him.
He's sort of a fancy lad. If you see her, though, would you? If we really do want to try to track her down a little bit, could you send a raven to us if you happen to spot Irina anywhere?
Yep. So to Kresk, you'll be in Kresk?
For some time here, but I'm not sure we might be heading south again after that.
Vasily did hang out in the Blue Water Inn quite a bit. He was quite an aristocratic fellow.
So when you say Vasily, Erwin and Danica say, "Oh, the Lord Vasily, sure, yeah." Strange.
Yeah, what happened to that fella?
Last we saw him, he was with you guys before the festival.
Yeah, I don't think he's to be trusted.
Always a nice gentleman. Always tipped well. Didn't cause any trouble.
Those are the ones you have to look out for, my friend.
We think he's the one who might have made off with Irina.
Oh, young lovers. That goes.
Not quite, my friend. Not quite.
Erwin nudges Danica, and she just gives him a dirty look.
Oh, that's a fucking double.
All right, so you load up the wagons. You're heading off. The Irwins, just like your grandma and grandpa would do when you're a little kid, they're standing on the front porch. They're waving at you until you leave the horizon. They're just continuing to wave. Hey, Ben.
Hi.
Looking good, buddy.
Thank you.
All right. So yeah, you guys are pulling away. They're waving at you. You got several cases of wine. It's not going to be enough to, supply the city, but you also have the scroll with a sort of a commitment to deliver some wine to the city, an explanation that they're no longer delivering to Vallaki and that half of their supply will go to Kresk, and you hope that that'll be good for the Burgomaster as you head back up north, back on the pass, same way you came. It's a little bit after noon now. We'll jump back to the rest of the group who's been hanging out, or who is, let's say, we'll kind of jump back in time a little bit here. The rest of the group has left. The Baron has asked, if you want to, if you don't mind chipping in a little bit and helping out, we'll definitely give you food and shelter and anything else we can. This is sort of you guys start to get the idea that this is this city's like a commune in a way. Like as you've walked around and said, they grow everything. They're all self-contained. It's like a little Walking Dead kind of city where they're just like holed up and they've got everything they need in here except wine. But everything else they seem to be self-sufficient on. There really isn't. You don't see stores. You don't see a tavern. You don't see an inn. You don't see exchange of currency. It's really barter and goods and trade, and everybody seems to have their own livestock and garden, and even as you're walking around the town, the cottages each have their own, as morbid as this is, little graveyard behind their home where they probably have buried their relatives, and so it's very, very self-contained. Yeah, little biodome.
With all that said, if Alar can find it, he's going to look around the house, the cottage, to see if he can find some kind of axe to go out and start chopping wood. So if he can find something to do it, he's going to head out somewhere near the house and start chopping up some trees.
All right. So I dig that. And then so what are Juniper, what are you doing to help out?
I feel like Juniper would be using her druidic powers to help out with some sort of, I don't want to say landscaping, but gardening.
Cool. Okay. And Ragnar, what are you doing?
Ragnar will head towards the wood as well.
Towards the what?
Towards the wood as well.
Okay.
Gathering wood, chopping wood.
All right. So Juniper, you start wandering around, and you've come across a cottage a couple over where you see an elderly couple who are struggling really hard to. Looks like they have saplings that they're trying to plant, but the ground is like frozen. The saplings look like they're barely alive. That's what you see.
Okay, I feel like Juniper would feel like she would want to help the saplings, if maybe not the older people. So maybe she would go over and use mold earth to move some of the earth out of the way. And then after, maybe she'd put her fingers into the ground and pull that same plant that or the same kind of trick that she did with the vineyard with plant growth. Oh, maybe not that. Because that's 8 hours.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
Okay.
But if you cast the spell using one action, all normal plants within a 100-foot radius centered on that point become thick and overgrown. So she'd probably do that to help them out.
All right. So you see these so this couple is basically like trying to nurse the Charlie Brown Christmas tree into growing something, and you're like, this is not gonna fucking happen. And you roll up and you start using your druidic magic, and suddenly they're rocky, frozen, chopped up, full of roots, shitty garden just bubbles up. All the crappy stuff that can't grow anything seems to sink into the bedrock as the topsoil rises up. It almost sort of like sorts and sifts itself until they have this like beautiful looking field. And then you use your magic to help the few plants that are there grow. And this couple is just astonished. They don't know what's going on. They like step back. They look at you and they're like, did the Morning Lord must have sent you. Thank you for answering our prayers. You're a blessing. We'll eat great this whole season. We'll have enough to trade for other things. Oh, thank you so much.
Juniper nods a little bit and then kind of goes to the ground where all the rocks have sifted out and starts looking for good ones.
And they're looking at you like, not sure why you're grabbing them, but go ahead and roll a d10.
Well, that's not the right one. There we go. 4.
Okay. After about a half hour really sifting through, you find 4 perfectly like round golf ball, dense, aerodynamic, great rocks that you just think are just wonderful. The couple doesn't know why you're so excited, but they are just so ecstatic that they have a viable garden again, and probably will be able to harvest food within days at this point, that they are like, this is like probably the best day of their entire lives. Their miserable lives. So you help there, and the Baron and his people kind of see that happening and nod in approval. Alaric and Ragnar, you head out, grab an axe. There's plenty of tools all over this place, and you see a couple of scrawny younger men kind of working through a section of forest, and you guys roll up there, and they see just the bulging muscles on Ragnar, who's shorter than them, and then Alaric, who's a good 1.5 taller, 2 feet taller than all of them, and just ripping with muscles, and see the axes, and they're like, they start swinging a little bit harder, like they're trying to prove something, like, the big ripped guy walks into the gym, so you start, put a couple more plates on, but it's not having much effect. Both of you roll a strength check.
Can I go pay and eat a turkey burger?
Yeah, like, why don't we do this and take a 5-minute break? So Matt, if you want to head out, we'll take a quick 5-minute. We'll go another.
I'll wait till we all go.
Oh God. 11.
All right.
That's not terrible.
Oh. Oh, there we go.
Okay. All right. So these other guys are hacking away and kind of watching you. Ragnar, you walk up and you start swinging at one too, and you're amazed. It strikes you immediately that these trees are not only thick old wood oak, but they're also semi-frozen. So you have a really hard time. You think you're going to take down this big, wide diameter tree, but you end up really struggling with it. You bring it down and you get a good amount of lumber, but the two scrappy young guys next to you, they must have something to prove, and they actually cut down their trees even faster than you, and they seem really proud of themselves. They're like, yeah, this guy with his big muscles and his, whatever, just, we're still the woodcutters here. But then Alaric, you roll up and you hold up this axe, and you're used to using a great sword and a spear, and so you're kind of holding this axe kind of funny, and it actually looks small in your hands because of how big you are, and it's just sort of a woodsman's axe, not a battle axe of any sort. But you pull back and you strike this tree, and it doesn't go through the tree initially, but the force at which you hit it and how far the axe blade wedged into it, the tree splits itself vertically from the force and just comes crashing down as these two guys chop it up into pieces instantly. You basically took down half a redwood in what would take a normal guy a whole day in one good, strong swing. Collectively, with the villagers and everything, you guys all produce several cords of wood, which would have taken the villagers a good couple of days of work to get through, and you do it in a couple hours.
Now, you said, are we... So where are we cutting? Like, literally right outside the cottage?
Yeah. Yeah, they're like growing and cutting trees within the city walls here.
Okay.
And again, the Baron kind of sees this happening. He's super appreciative. He tells you, as you guys come back and finish working, the rest of the party comes rolling up. He's thanking you all for the work that you've done and how you've saved the town a couple days worth of effort, and everybody could be able to relax a little bit. And at the very same time, some guards come running your way and say, "Oh, that group's back. They got the wagon." And the Baron says, "All right, I'll go meet them." So let's take a 5-minute break, and we'll flip back to the other group rolling up with the wagon and wine and everything.
I gotta say, I really like, as feedback, I like these little side quests with like skill checks.
So do I. I don't know why. I think it's
so cool.
It satisfies my OCD
Yes.
from all
Yes.
of the years of playing single player
Yes.
RPGs where
Yes.
I'm like, I have to do everything in the game.
Yes.
So even if it's something that you're just making up on the fly, I love it because it's like I feel like this sense of like completion, right?
Yeah.
Like
right.
I didn't just blow through
Yes.
this town. I came to this town and I did some shit and I did it well, and I'm like, now I can leave here happy.
It's immersion. It feels like what
Yeah.
classic vanilla World of Warcraft felt like. You get to a
Yes.
town, you chop some wood, you find the necklace in the mud, you find the lost pig, and they take you as one of their own.
Yes.
I love
But
it.
they didn't even want you in the beginning, and then by the end they're like your family.
Your family.
I
Right.
love
your
it.
reputation and
I love that, Dan. Don't let me tell you how to DM, but I love that shit. I could do
Great.
this all
Totally
night.
agree.
Well, you're playing it well so far, so we'll see.
I mean, nothing was better than freedom and independence.
Oh
Like,
my god!
Scaling the cliffs. Nothing.
Yeah, there's
That was
paragliding.
well thought out. You guys planned that one well.
Yeah.
All right, 5-minute break. We'll come back at 10:35.
All right, see you
Okay.
guys. All right,
All
have a good
we're
one.
right back.
I love you. Reading or listening? I want to read that. I bet the books are really. I know. That's cool. I like reading the book and then watching the thing. Because the book's always better, but kind of cool to watch something that you've read before, you know?
I like to watch the thing first because sometimes like the book has like so much stuff like stuff that you're like expecting to be in the movie, but they just can't fit in all in one movie.
Right. The other thing about reading a book instead of watching a movie, it's easier when you're reading a book, they talk about what the character's thinking. They can't do that in a movie unless they narrate, you know what I mean? So sometimes you're the character, you're kind of in their head when you're reading, but that's harder to do when you're watching it on a movie.
Yeah, because sometimes when you like watch a movie, there's like a lot of stuff, and then like when you read the book, there's even like more stuff that they didn't say.
That's right, yeah.
But then if you read the book, then you that other stuff to be in the movie.
Yeah, the movie would be like 10 hours long if they fit all the cool stuff. That's why you got to read Harry Potter, not just watch the movie.
Because the book is like the book is way longer to read than
Oh yeah,
way longer.
but it's worth it. Cool. All right, I'll see you in the morning. It's Thursday already. Almost the weekend. That's it. That's it. All right. Night, buddy. Love you too.
Dude, Thoradin's like what's it called? The Zelda and the Thoradin vintage, everything. That's pretty sweet. That
Amber made that, I think. She's like artist, graphic designer. She does all kinds of cool stuff. I really like that one.
That's sweet.
Because he was streaming a ton of Zelda.
Yeah. Breath of the Wild and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Colin just beat that.
Did he really?
Uh-huh. Oh, he's been obsessed with that game.
Is Andromeda any good? Mass Effect Andromeda?
You ask me?
Yeah.
It is. It is. It got horrible press. It was like, it got released right at the beginning of the whole cancel culture thing. Bunch of fan hate for EA because of their money grabs and monetizing everything, which did suck. Yeah. The game came out real buggy with like goofy animations. So it got this initial horrible press. And then that was it. It was just dead because then it was the fun thing to pile on and trash. And so it just never had a chance. I played it. I think it's one of the best Mass Effects.
What game?
Really? Okay.
Mass Effect Andromeda, which was like a...
Number 4. It's different. I know.
Yeah, it's like... It's not a prequel or a sequel. It's more like a...
It's between 1 and 2, they said.
Yeah.
It's between 1 and 2, but it's just like a right. From what I understand, it's a group of people that were sent to colonize a different area or something like that.
Right.
That's as much as I know.
But they were sent without the mass relays. Like the mass relays let you let you warp across the universe.
Right.
They went in more of like a traditional sci-fi like arc where they were frozen for like, or in cryo or whatever for hundreds of years, and they actually traveled to the Andromeda Galaxy. And
Well, they're switching off that engine for number 5, I heard. You know what I mean? But
I heard that too. I think that's a good thing.
Yeah. But anyway, no, I was just curious because I was gonna get it because
it's it's worth playing.
Yeah, all right, cool.
Plus, there's guys that are growing space weed in this one place. Not to spoil anything, but there's just like one random side quest where you meet these dudes, and I won't say anything more than that. But it's the funniest goddamn thing I've seen.
I think this commune that we're in right now we might have to investigate what some of their.
That's what they need to be doing is growing Barovian weed instead of this wine, you know?
Right. Are we going gold? We trade in herb.
All right, so you guys, the team that ran to the winery comes back, reaches the front gates. The Baron comes out. He's really happy with all the help he's been getting in the city. A couple of you that have been around the Baron, though, have continued to notice that he's like really just falls into these like moments of depression or just being disconnected or something. It's really kind of like this weird thing. But he's really happy about the wine. He unfolds the scroll from the Mardikovs and he reads it, and he says, "You've done this town a great service, all of you. I don't want any trouble. I hope that you'll kind of keep your heads down here. It puts everybody on edge when there's outsiders in the city walls, but you've been helpful, so I will do whatever I can to make your stay here comfortable and help you in whatever way I can." What would you like to do?
Maybe a bowl of stew and some boiled parsnips.
I don't know what everybody's doing, but Alaric would definitely like to try to talk to the burgomaster and see if he can figure out what's troubling him. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out if this is just like a Strahd thing or something different.
So if you start to really like converse with him, he says, and Thoradin asks about the stew and everything. He says, let's, before you guys head up to talk to the abbot, let me share what I do know with you. And we need to at least share one of these bottles. It's past noon now. I feel it's fair game. What's that?
It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
It's always 5 o'clock in Barovia.
That's true. He pops a bottle of wine, brings out some of that stew. There's some other like decent food and stuff that his wife brings out. As he sits around, everybody gets some wine if they want it, some more tea. He has jugs of water, and this strikes a couple of you as interesting, maybe. You've obviously had water and drinks as you've been around Barovia, but this is the clearest, cleanest, sweetest, like just purest tasting water. It's like you got some like Fiji bottled water somehow smuggled into Barovia, and it's like cool and clear. And there you go. So if anybody was kind of paying attention to that, that's one thing that strikes you as odd. But you eat a lot and drink and kick back. It's getting to be middle of the afternoon. And the Baron now seems a lot more relaxed, and he is happy to answer any questions you might have about the town. Or himself.
So at this point, have we ate and drank, and we've drank all the different things, the wines and waters, like we've all had the stuff?
Yeah, I mean, anybody who would have
Well, I mean, I guess Alark would break the ice by holding up his glass of water or whatever the hell he's got the water in, and be like, and he would just say, "I haven't had water like this since I've been in Barovia. What, what is your secret?"
He says, "Well, I will tell you, there is a secret. There's a pool here at the edge of town. It's said to be blessed by Saint Markovia herself. Don't know if that's true, but it's as far as I can tell, it's an underwater spring that hasn't stopped in hundreds of years, and so it provides us fresh water, an unlimited supply, and really helps keep the town going. You're welcome to have at it yourself. I'd ask you pay respects to the shrine, and don't go swimming in the pool. We drink out of there, but it's all yours."
And this shrine is here within the city limits?
Yes, yeah, it is.
And you don't do anything to maintain it? It's just some magical thing?
It's always full of fresh, clear water. We think it's an underground spring.
You guys should get a fresh, clear wine spring like that. That would be great.
You go, "That sounds great." Can your little druid lady turn our pond into a wine spring?
Well, I do have these beans.
Turn the water into the wine?
He laughs and he says, as much as I'd like that, we do need our water. What were you saying, Juniper?
What?
What were you saying? I cut you off.
No, I was just making a joke about having magic beans.
Oh.
Yeah, that was it.
Deckard, so tell us a little bit more about Kresk here. Y'all seem to be a bit somber. Especially you, Dimitri.
Well, again, he looks at his wife. When you say especially you, Dimitri, he looks at his wife, and they both lock eyes for what seems like too long of a period of time, and you see her eyes swell up a little bit. He looks back and he says, "Well, we're in a good and bad spot here where we're at. We're far enough away from Castle Ravenloft that we don't get bothered by the Dark Lord. We stay to ourselves. The Abbey on the hill is a little disconcerting, as you'll see at some point, I'm sure. It's just we try to keep our distance. But we do have the constant threat of werewolves. That's the purpose of these walls. That's why we don't let anybody in. There is way too close proximity to a clan of werewolves in the region that in the past they've taken some of our children. They've attacked our hunters. So we've decided to just hole up here, and as long as we don't let anyone in, we've been relatively safe.
Do you know anything about these werewolves? Anything more?
No, they're vicious bastards that steal our kids and kill our livestock, and about all I know of them.
Your kids?
Yeah, well, they do.
Kids is in plural?
Yeah, they've been known to sneak into town, and kids have gone missing.
Creepy.
Don't like it.
How recently has something like that happened?
Probably been a little while now.
Was that a week or 6 months?
We probably haven't had anyone missing this year yet, but prior to these policies and these walls and guards, it'd be a pretty, unfortunately, regular occurrence.
So it probably sounds like y'all don't like werewolves very much.
Uh-oh.
No, sir. Absolutely not.
Man, I don't either. They're a bad bunch.
Oh, they're the worst.
Have you made
Absolutely.
any attempt to fight back, or?
What can we do? Well, our weapons don't even hurt them.
Do you know where they live?
Best we can tell, they're in the mountains, in the caves, in the hills nearby. We don't know their exact location, but we hear them. We hear them pretty regularly.
We tried hunting them.
No, we don't have any means of fighting them. It'd be a suicide mission for my guards.
Suppose them werewolves were taken care of. What might that do for them?
If such a thing were possible, it would certainly put the town at ease and probably open things up a little bit. I mean, that's the biggest threat we have up here in these hills, other than the cold. But we've managed that.
All right. Well, what's the best way for us to start getting headed up towards the Abbey?
Says, well, you're welcome. Suddenly you guys hear these gonging of bells. And the Baron stops mid-sentence. The Baroness looks at him, and they kind of cringe a little bit as they wait for this gonging of bells to stop. And then Deckard and Juniper. Deckard, you hear it clearly because you've got tuned in ears. Juniper, you hear this like sort of the edge of your hearing. You guys both hear this crazy ass just bunch of noises that sound like a combination of like animals snarling and hooting and hollering, and as well as people cheering and screaming almost in like jubilation. It kind of sounds like if you had like a mob of people and random animals and suddenly they were all celebrating about something or getting excited about something, and just all of that started to, like, as soon as the bells rang, you just heard all of that, and it's echoing down from the top of the hill into the city. The Kreskovs who you're talking to, as well as anybody that's sort of in the immediate vicinity, kind of get quiet a little bit, and they just almost like it's something that they expected to hear or regularly hear, and they're just kind of like tense. And then that hooting and hollering after 5 minutes or so quiets back down. The Baron. What was the question that you asked him before that?
Well, Deckard hears it and goes, "What in the Sam Hill was that?"
He says, well, that's why we avoid the Abbey. There's some strange folk that live up there. I'll just leave it at that.
Did anyone else hear that?
I didn't hear shit.
I heard the bells, right? I assume I heard the bells.
Everybody heard the bells, but it was Juniper, who has a real high passive perception, and Deckard, who has like bat ears, fine-tuned, sonar ears.
Oh,
actually picked up all that stuff. Oh, would you have, Ragnar? You have high passive perception.
Yep.
I think Juniper would turn to everyone and go, "Did you guys hear that?"
The bells?
The hell is
No.
stuff, Juniper?
Yeah.
Damn hell you talking about?
There was weird
Like
ass.
a whole bunch of celebrating. Do you think they're having a party up there?
Either that or someone's. They're doing something up there. Sound like
What do
they.
you think the animals were?
What's that?
What do you think the animal noises were?
Do you think those were what kind of animals they got up there? Dimitri?
The Baron looks down and he says, I don't know that I can describe it properly. You might have to see for yourself. But the abbot, he takes care of the Bellevues family that lives up there in the abbey. A rather large family for many generations. I'll just leave it as there's some strange folk up there.
Is this going to be dangerous for us to visit the abbot? Do you think?
The abbot's never done anything to harm anybody here. He's not a dangerous man. But the abbey itself is it's been a bit closed off and a bit of an enigma for the whole town for many years. So I can't really say. I can't say it enough that we avoid it for sort of this very reason, and they leave us alone too. So it's been fine for many years.
And you said he comes down to pray by the spring. How often?
Oh, about every couple months or so he comes down. We call that the Shrine of the White Sun. Over there by the pond, and he comes down and occasionally he asks for some wine, which we give him to not cause any trouble.
Can I do a history check on that White Sun?
Mm-hmm.
Just like in my memory.
Yep. Yeah, go for it.
20.
A 20. You haven't heard of it outside of Barovia, but based on your sort of anthropologic, archaeological sort of awareness, you feel like there's an association with the Morning Lord and the symbology that you've seen with the sun symbols that you saw in the Argynvost Chapel, and you're pretty reasonably piece it together that that's some sort of a Morning Lord kind of tribute.
And just for my, like, what I remember, that wasn't the little dragon ghost thing in Argynvost Holt? Wasn't he something to do with that? Would I remember that? That little dragon ghost? Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Hey, Baron, do you think any of the disappearances had anything to do with the people in the in the abbey?
I don't think so. Our guards are pretty cautious about watching those strange people that live up there. And they know better than to come down here and try to mess with anything around here. It's possible, though.
With all those animal noises, I got a bad feeling about it.
Again, you have to see for yourself. They're not the people up there. They're not right.
Does he ever put anything in the water or make any sort of hand movements over the water?
Sugar.
No, not that we've noticed. I'll tell you, the abbot's been up there on that hill longer than I've been alive. And I've never heard of anybody complaining about him or him doing anything to disrupt the city down here other than asking for some wine here and there.
Something about this seems unnatural, boys. I think we better get up there.
I agree. I think we should be ready for something unusual.
He says, "Well, it's mid-afternoon, and you got the brightest part of the day to get up there. the guards have all been instructed to give your group sort of free roam of the town. I assume you'll be respectful to the villagers, and but otherwise you'll have free passage all the way up to the abbey if that's where you choose to go. It's a bit of a windy road up, quite a bit up there, and he points way up that hill. I mean, it's hundreds of feet above the city, so it's going to be a little bit of a hike around, but won't take you more than an hour or two.
Last game of the year. Can't hold anything back.
He says he hands you one of the bottles out of the cases, and he says, might as well take that with you. The abbot seems to appreciate a bottle himself, so it might help. And so he just holds it out. I don't know who grabs it, but he holds out a bottle of Great Mash number 5 or Red Dragon Crush.
Thank you. I suppose this. You guys ready? You want to make our way up?
I'll take that. We don't want Thornton getting his hands on that quite yet.
All right, so let me. Why don't we zoom into this map here, and then you guys just tell me where you want to go.
All right, here we go.
Kind of
direction, like.
You know what? I'm gonna clear a big chunk of the map out here because you guys have walked around the sort of main square area here, where the marker is right now is the burgomaster's cottage. So you're there.
Sort of looks like that path to the right at least loops towards that abbey, right?
He doesn't even point us in the right direction.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty obvious if you guys want to just say you're following the road that winds up to the abbey. It is this route.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not a thing.
On our way there, though, do we see, as we kind of loop around there, do we see anything of note from anything that stands out other than these tiny cottages and people kind of tending
not too much here. So down on this part of town where you're at, it's very sort of cookie cutter repetitive. You see a small cottage, maybe 200-300 square feet cottage. Each one has its own garden, its own set of trees. You hear pigs and chickens kind of coming from each one. You see people coming in and out. It's like a commune of farms, small little farmsteads inside of a walled up city, and people working. And they look somewhere happiness level between Village of Barovia and Vallaki. You know what I mean? They're sort of like, they're not miserable, but they're toiling.
Yeah.
That's what you see.
All right. I guess we just kind of make our way down.
See you, Punch.
All right.
See you. Hey, Punch. Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Yeah, so Dex stab Spargle. Oh, sorry, he's back.
Sorry.
Gives him the Jade Frog and then stabs him in the leg.
And then takes the Jade Frog back.
All right, so are you guys heading up to the Abbey?
Yeah.
Is there anything else?
Yeah,
Okay.
we're gonna do that.
All right. So I'll clear a bunch of this shit out. And we will move. So you go and wind your way around the switchback road that hugs the cliff. It's about 10 feet wide, and it's covered with loose gravel, chunks of broken rock. The ascent is slow and somewhat treacherous. It looks like not a lot of people. This isn't a well-traveled road, despite this Abbey's as the crow flies, a couple hundred feet from the town. Of course, the switchback makes it thousands of feet of climbing up the side of the hill, but it's not that far away proximity-wise, but it doesn't look like people come and go that much, as the Baron had explained. The air grows cold as you go up. It goes colder and crisper. You start to hear more farm, zoo-like animal noises, kind of just here and there, which strikes you as a bit odd. And you start to get the smell of the zoo. Like, the best way I can describe it is like you're walking into a zoo and you get that smell of just like
feces dropping.
Hay and shit.
all of that
Hey,
zoo smell is
shit.
the best way I can say it. You just
Hey,
yeah,
shit.
hay and shit, and yes, that's the scent you get, especially as the air gets colder. Your sense of smell gets a little sharper, and it's almost like that stench kind of bites you a little bit. But you wind your way up the road, and then eventually you find yourself in front of. Let's see if I did this all right. Super drunk when I did it. So probably fucked up. I like watching your stream. It makes
Not to backtrack, but following the road up, I don't remember where it was. Did we walk by that fresh water spring, whatever, the Fiji water spring?
You didn't notice that.
Okay, so
if you wanted to go out of your way, or if you wanted to
No.
look for it, we can. But you guys didn't see it.
No.
the route you
It was
took.
just one of those things that I was thinking, like as we were walking up, I couldn't remember exactly where it was at. I didn't know if we just walked past it and observed it or not.
Yeah. No, you hadn't. You didn't see anything that was described like
Okay.
that. Yep.
I have no idea what this means, but I just keep in mind that the reading that related to this about the garden dusted with snow, watched over by a scarecrow with a sackcloth grin. Look not to the garden, but to the guardian. So I have no idea what we're going to encounter, but try to keep that in mind, I guess, as we go up here.
And if you guys don't do anything else, you eventually get up to the top of the hill, and you are approaching the abbey. Let's see. So the road from the village climbs above the mist to the wide ledge on which the abbey is perched. A light dusting of snow covers the trees and the rocky earth. The gravel road passes between two small stone outbuildings, which are kind of in those black squares right now because they're covered. So I don't know if you can tell that on the map. To either side of which stretches a 5-foot high, 3-foot thick wall of jumbled stones held together with mortar. So they're like cobblestone walls that are about 5 feet high, so almost eye level or higher, and about 3 foot thick. Blocking the road are iron gates attached to the outbuildings. So those two square things have like an iron gate that are on rusty hinges. They appear to be unlocked. Viewed through the gates, the stone abbey that you see up behind there, and let me show you a picture here too. This might help.
Well, this looks well maintained.
View through the gates, the stone abbey stands quiet. Its two wings are joined by a 15-foot high curtain wall, which is a curtain wall is just a non-load bearing wall. It's just like a wall that's made to block wind. A belfry protrudes from the rooftop of the closer north wing, which also sports a chimney which is billowing gray smoke. So you walk up to this abbey. All right. So that's what you see, and that's where you're at.
So we're
Are there
walking
any
up
guards?
to it, and right, is there?
This reminds me of that temple from Skyrim where you get the voices from the old people.
Oh, what is it? Mount Tai something? No,
you climb
something
all the
with
way up
age.
there, and there's spiders on the fucking hill when you're going up. So I shoot.
Hi, Hrothgar.
Yes.
Hi, Hrothgar, yep.
So I shoot the spider from like 600 feet away, and then it runs at me, and I gotta hide in the town. 4 fucking hours it took me to get up that mountain.
Just to run away from the spider.
Yeah, because the spiders chase you. Sorry. Continue. I'm sorry.
Oh, so that's what you see. That's where you're at.
So
And there's
Thorin
nobody around?
goes
There's no people.
forward and yells, Fosroda.
Fusora.
Yeah.
So you don't see it here, but there's a... I don't know why they didn't show it, but there's actually a gate right here.
Alright, Thorin's gonna knock on it.
Knock on the gate? It's like a metal gate. Are you just banging on the metal?
Are there any knockers that I could use, or?
No, it's just like 2 pieces of a gate, and they're stuck together, but they're not latched or anything. It's just like closed, like a turnpike kind of gate kind of thing is just
Alright.
there. There's no chain or lock or anything. They're just shut.
I'll knock.
Okay. So you knock. Let me see.
Somebody
Nice
just
out. Nice out. So you knock and nothing happens.
Okay. Well, I guess no one's home. The time to pack it in, fellas.
Turn around, head home. I guess I don't know. I mean, it doesn't look like it's a difficult thing to open, right? I mean, we can just kind of push it open.
From what you can see, it looks like you could swing it right open.
Sparkle, maybe hit the gate with a nice big fireball just to blast it open.
I don't want to keep those in my pocket for whatever that noise is that you guys heard.
I suppose. I do like to make an entrance.
Just blast the thing off its hinges.
As there's a stone wall collapse like 10 feet away.
He looks a little tempted, but he feels like maybe I
So is
shouldn't.
there a stick on the ground that I could grab?
Yeah. There's a couple trees right there. There's probably some, fallen branches that you could grab one.
I'm gonna grab like a branch maybe about that big, and kind of just, because I don't know that we should just like bust in on them. I'm gonna kind of just like rattle it on the gate, so it makes like a ding, it makes a noise.
Okay. All right. So you kind of like, almost like chimes, just kind of like
Almost like a ring bell.
along the metal gate. And it makes like a light little noise, and then from this left from this little tower section, you hear this like, oh yeah, I'm watching. Archie.
Are you talking
And then-
are you talking to your kids, or is that in the game? Is that in the
It's like Island of Dr. Moreau shit.
Yeah, this is I'm a head out.
And then you see this like, you hear this like clanging around and this shuffling, and then coming around the outside of that little gate building kind of thing, you see this like about 4 foot 9 inch tall creature. Looks like a beardless dwarf. Has patches of like donkey flesh covering his face and body. He's got one human ear and one wolf ear.
What are they
and
doing?
he's
Yeah.
he's got a protruding
Give me the images.
wolf.
All right, everybody
Wolf.
out. It's time to burn it down.
Hell no. Oh, hell no.
Unholy sorcery.
His arms and hands are human, but his legs and feet are leonine. And he has a donkey's tail. And it looks like he's wearing a plain wool cloak. And he comes kind of like staggering out. He comes staggering out, and he's got this like shovel in his hand. And he's like, "What's your business? Why are you here?"
We're just lost. We're going back though.
Wrong door.
Sorry. We're out though. Goodbye.
How are you?
He kind of stands there and he takes his shovel and he like bangs it on the other stone wall thing. And then you hear this more feminine kind of snarling voice going, Otto! Otto, it's nap time. He says, no, there's somebody's here. Somebody's here. And a guard. I'm a guard. And then this other thing comes out about 4'7" tall, female-ish looking, for those who can tell. And the left side of her face is covered with lizard scales, and the right with tufts of wolf fur. But between these tufts and stuff is pale human skin. One of her eyes, as she comes around the corner, one of her eyes is feline. And her fingers and hands look like cat paws with opposable thumbs. And she's wearing a gray cloak with black fur trim. And she comes around the corner and she stands next to him. She has a broom as they're both standing there in the gateway. And Thornton says that, oh, no business here. I'm just walking away. And they're like, wow, you came up here. What do you need?
We're here to see the abbot. We'd like to have an audience with the abbot.
He's just going right in.
Yeah, fuck it. No
We
butter.
heard about the learned man.
Don't
that
worry
lives
about
in the
Bebop
abbey.
and Rocksteady. They're just gonna let us right in.
Bebop.
Bebop and
I'm pretty
Rocksteady.
sure we can handle Bebop and Rocksteady.
Oh, yeah.
The one.
At this point.
The one who the woman called Otto looks back and says, Siegfried, we're not letting him in, right? We can't let him in. Why would we let him see the abbey? The abbot. The abbey. And she said, I don't know. Are we supposed to let him in?
That was amazing.
He does this too well.
I hope that wasn't scripted, because that would be extra better.
The abbey. The abbey.
The abbey. The abbey.
This is too good. This is like when you were that wizard who talks to his book. This is kind of like giving me that vibe.
I'm sure the abbot would be happy if you escorted us to him.
We brought him a bottle of wine.
We come bearing such gifts, amazing, bountiful gifts for the Lord and of the abbey, the abbot himself. We have so many wonderful things, fruitful gifts to give him.
We have gifts and news of Barovia to trade with him. We'd love an audience.
The one who the female who was referred to as Siegfried says, looks at you, Thorin, and says, "Gifts? Why? I'm not enough of a gift for the abbot? Why are you judging me? What's wrong with me? I'm fine."
Nothing is wrong with you. I have material gifts to present to the abbot himself.
Why are you looking at me like that?
I feel like you're undressing me with your eyes, and I feel sexually abused right now.
I'm gonna shit my pants.
She gets really mad. She looks like really pissed at you and just starts looking. Won't make eye contact with you right now. And Otto says, "I'm sorry, my friend. She's not as brilliant as I am."
Oh, yeah. Well, where are y'all from? From around here?
This is our home. I'm like probably the most important person in this place.
Oh, all right. So that's pretty cool. You kind of run the show here, then?
Yeah. Well, everybody knows I'm the smartest one.
Well, that's good.
Say that your heritage is.
What's heritage mean?
Ancestry, lineage, species.
Did you do a 23andMe? What do we got? Like, we got scale people. What do we get?
Ancestry.com. Yeah. So that one says, you mean? We're a perfected race up here, and I am the leader of the race, obviously being the best looking one.
Oh,
What's the name of your race? What would you call yourself?
Perfected race.
Y'all look like you've been patched together with dead animal parts.
The female one again is like, I don't know why that would be. Why are you offended by me, and why are you judging me all the time? I'm
Judging you, I'm curious. I think you're all very fascinating and intelligent folks, and my friends and I here would love nothing more than to get to know you a little bit better.
okay. Well, you said something about wine.
Oh, you need some wine? Is that something you...
We're all gonna need some wine after this.
No. Well, the abbot might talk to you if you have a bottle of wine.
We got that.
Are you gonna stop judging me?
I ain't judging from the start.
You said I was a half species thing or something.
As a compliment, where I come from, we find roadkill, we make something out of it.
Zigfrick looks really roadkill. I just stopped. Otto says, "Don't worry about her. She's not as smart as I am. Just let me handle this, Zigfrick. You guys can see the abbot. I mean, you know I'm the leader, right? And I'm the smartest and most handsome of the Belleviews.
That's
right.
obvious.
Right?
Yeah, we all knew that.
Oh yeah.
You didn't even have to say it.
Right.
Yeah.
You got the air of the
Right.
man in charge.
We're not worthy.
You got
We're
that
not
air.
worthy.
That's what I'm saying. So, if you let me see that bottle of wine.
That's
I have it.
Show
I
me
got-
your ass first, lad.
No. Just show him the wine.
Please,
I'd like
I
to.
don't want to see any more of these cats than I need to.
He says, all right, you got the wine. Zigfrick, we got to let him in. The abbot will be mad if somebody delivered wine and we didn't tell him. You know, that's why I'm in charge here. And she says, stop judging me, Otto.
Whoa.
And then
Whoa.
I'm going to show you pictures of these two.
I'm so
no, we're
fucking
good.
excited.
Oh, we're good. It's
Let me wait.
Oh,
oh
no.
man. Damn.
Oh.
Ah,
Oh, it looks like the old guy from Braveheart. Oh.
this is hard. All right. Can I feel bad for these two. Can I give them like rations or something?
Oh, stop. No. We're not
Yeah, look at them. Their
I mean,
life
they're,
is
they're
misery.
obviously eating all right. I mean, they're
Yeah.
part of the commune. They're delivering alcohol. They're in charge. They're
Yeah, there's
they're
a
managing
hierarchy.
things.
Use talk to animals. It'll be fine. We'll be good. Just keep on going.
Clearly, they like gongs.
I mean, everybody likes gongs. That's
You know
all.
how we're gonna help them? We're gonna kill them and put them out of their misery. That's how.
No, not yet.
Not yet.
There you
Not yet. But we're gonna pull the chute eventually, and we're gonna just
Get
do it.
Eventually, this is gonna have to be
We're not
raced.
doing anything till we talk to the abbot.
Yeah, we gotta talk to the abbot. That's number
And
one.
we'll see what are these fucking abominations that they created.
Oh,
Yeah, well, these
kill
born-
Stinky, you pay. Oh my
All
god.
So, Zigfrick and Otto, not overly offended by what you said and excited that you've brought wine and that they may impress the abbot by presenting you and the wine, more the wine than you, to the abbot, agree to let you in the gates and say, we'll take you to the abbot. He's going to be excited about the wine. I don't know what he'll think about you guys being up here, but follow me. Otto says. Zigfrick kind of like, and they do not walk normal at all. Like they're like, one leg's like dragging and an arm, and they're just like neither of them have the same gait, but they kind of like move all goofy like, and you guys follow them down the street, and that's where we'll end the session. These two freaks are taking you to meet the abbot up in this abbey of Saint Markovia. You've made friends with the townspeople of Kresk, who don't seem to be necessarily don't tend to associate with the people up here, and now you've found these freakish people, things or whatever, who seem to be okay with you being up there, and they're going to go take you to see the abbot next time.
Of course
But-
they're okay, because they're going to use us for parts. They're going to create 7 guards out of us.
They want me for my wolf parts.
Right? They want me for my arms.
We're gonna do something completely different next session. I'm not gonna tell you right now, but next session's gonna be a little bit of a sidestep from what's going on here. So you guys are heading off. These 2 Bellevue people, family members, have decided to take you to the abbot. But I'm gonna give you guys some write-up tomorrow on what we're gonna be doing about the next session, but it'll be a little different. So I'm actually gonna have you guys roll up some characters for a one shot that'll kind of make sense later. So
Oh, that's fun.
Sweet.
yeah. Hey, I gotta piss. If you guys want to hang for 1 second, I'll be right back. But
All right,
talk
well, you know what?
amongst yourselves.
Since we're done, I'll end the stream here, and then we can all
Yeah.
BS afterwards.
Let's
So,
thank all of our viewers.
everybody that stopped by, thanks. Yeah, thanks. Thank you,
wanna
McDonald's,
thank our
for the McChickens.
sponsors. Yep.
What?